All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Episode 2 of the Art of Desiring More. And yes, this episode is titled Why High Capacity People Must Close Doors to Win. Now, you already know I'm about to bring in my co host, Juniper Jones. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that way you can see us get down, share this knowledge, and hopefully somebody out there will be enlightened on what we have to discuss. All right, Juniper. All right, Juniper, we're ready to go. They already know the title of the show. Why high capacity people must close doors to win. Let's go ahead and get into this conversation, girl.
All right, let's get into it. When people hear the phrase high capacity, they usually think it's a compliment. Like it means you're gifted, versatile, built for more. But here's what I want to start with tonight. Why do you think high capacity people struggle more with winning than people with limited options? Take your time. I'm right here with you.
I'm gonna have to say I struggle with it because we have so many things on our mind these days. So many little skills. We get compliments from so many people. People just tell us, "Hey, that is a great thing to do. You should do that. You should do that." You hear that all the time. And as a person who when I went to fashion design school, I kept getting told this statement, "You got it." I got told I got it at least 1,000 times in the 2 year span that I was a college student at FIT. And the thing is, when it comes all the way down to from that was in 2004. So from 2004 all the way to 2026, February 2nd, I'm gonna have to say this. I have many verticals, but I do not lack ideas. So what I had to figure out was what verticals did I want to explore and push through on versus all the consistent ideas because I don't shut my mind off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that. And I want to slow this down for a second because what you just said is the core tension. You didn't say you lacked discipline. You didn't say you lacked work ethic. You said something way more honest. You said, I don't shut my mind off. So let me ask you this, because this is where high capacity people usually get tripped up. When everyone keeps telling you you've got it, how do you tell the difference between a door you're gifted for and a door that's just flattering your ego? Because those two feel almost identical at first.
That's a good question. One second. That's a good question. You know, when you think about it, a person telling you you got it and a person and kind of flattering your ego and everything like that, it's like it's there's a confusion there. You almost don't know what trips you up in that aspect. You know, wow. I never thought of it like that. I mean, one thing for sure is you just want to make sure that you execute, but sometimes you don't necessarily know if you're executing for the aspect of getting the person who gave you that compliment to give you more compliments, more validation, and things of that nature, or if you're going to like be in the season that I'm in now, which is just the calm. That calm is like, you know what? It's not about the validation anymore. It's about my assignment. I was given this gift and I have to get it out or die trying. So therefore, I'm gonna execute this assignment. And if it brings applause, so be it. If it doesn't, so be it. Because it must get executed. If it doesn't get executed, then what's the purpose of me, pushing in life? I'll just go get a 9 to 5 work at UPS is hiring, like Biggie Smalls would say. And I'm not built for a day job. I'm built to do my assignment.
Mm, yeah, that shift you just named, that's the line, that's the divide. You went from performing for applause to executing an assignment. And those two sound similar to the outside world, but internally, they couldn't be more different. Let me lean into something you said because it matters. You said calm. High capacity people don't usually get calm until they stop auditioning, until they're no longer asking, is this impressive? And start asking, is this required of me? So here's what I want to put on the table next. When you started operating from assignment instead of validation, what doors did you realize had to close, even if they were good doors? Because this is where people get uncomfortable.
Interesting you say that. Yeah, like the doors for sure that had to close when I got calm was I had to stop running and telling everything that I was coming up with. Running and announcing everything that got me juiced up. I was like, you know what? I had to be result driven. So like, let's just be honest. I've been working on the designs that I just came out with and have in works. Those designs have been worked on for at least, I would say 3 weeks prior to, the maturation of them actually being able to be worn and put on my body. Like, but the thing is, I had people like my uncle, he didn't even I just showed him the piece, I just showed him the clothes. He was trying to like buy right off the back. I'm like, nah, this is my wardrobe. Because it has to be on me. It had to be a part of who I was. It had to be my thought, my season, my wear, my anchor of this is what happened, and these are the results that you get when you stay quiet and you just do you and you are inspired by you. Because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in it and you're just working off the applause, it sucks. It really does. Because you'll be like, you know what? I'll just do this next for the next applause. And that doesn't coincide with you. But when you actually bring to the world something that you believe in and something that is you, and you don't give a damn what the reaction is, and then you get the praise, that's when you have a that's when you have an apple, a raving fan. And that's what I wanted now.
That right there, that's the door most people never close. You close the door of premature exposure. Because what you described isn't secrecy for ego, it's incubation. It's letting something live inside you long enough that it becomes undeniable. You stopped narrating the process and started becoming the proof. And I want to underline something you said because it's subtle but powerful. You didn't say I launched a product. You said it had to be on my body, it had to be my season. That's embodiment, that's authority without announcement. So let me ask you this, and this one might land heavy for some people listening. When you stopped announcing, Did it feel like you were disappearing for a moment? Like people didn't know what to do with your silence?
Yeah,
Because a lot of high capacity people are terrified of that quiet phase.
right. Yeah, I've been on YouTube. There was these things that I would see, like it would be like and I actually have a ton of them for my students, but it's like these clips of this Nipsey Hussle thing where it says, "I dare you to disappear for 6 months. I dare you to disappear for a year." It was like I always heard that dare, and I was like, why would I want to disappear? But now I truly understand because it's like when you show up, the foundation has been set because the you leaving and stepping out the limelight or the whatever light that it was, the local light, you know what I'm saying? Because some of us are just local jokers at this moment. But literally, what we do is we actually are going through a constraint. And see, here's the thing, energy is the only constraint, not time. So if you take it where you take your energy out of just showing everybody you this, you this, you this, and pushing that energy to like be the man in everybody's eyes for your ideas, and instead take that energy and put it into you and go create something and embody it and then bring it to the world, boy, that's a whole different thing. That's staying power then. That's staying power.
Yeah, that's it. That's the revelation right there. You didn't disappear to be mysterious. You disappeared to reallocate energy. And I love how you framed that because most people get it backwards. They think time is the constraint. They say, if I just had more time. But what you just said is the truth. Energy is the real constraint. Attention, emotional output, performance energy, all of that gets drained when you're constantly visible without being anchored. And when you talked about the local light, that hit. Because a lot of people aren't afraid of disappearing, they're afraid of losing familiar relevance. So let me take this one step deeper with you. When high capacity people don't close doors, when they keep announcing, keep entertaining, keep staying available, what do you think that costs them long term? Not just financially, identity wise.
What it does is it really takes your mind to the next level of just wanting to like be on a different plane. Because in order for you to let your gift be known to the world, it has to go there. It has to go to that next plane. See, what I had to realize was some verticals, like my verticals are all good, but some of them are out of season or they just haven't came into the season yet. And so in order for me to expose what I need so that way I can bring those verticals, the ones that actually don't make as much money or will make money in the end, but has the drip factor in the beginning, I had to like take the time away from those because I needed to make sure that I spend this season right now in a season of proof, positioning, and receipts. Because believe it or not, in order for you to step out and actually push the barrier forward, you're going to need income and you're going to need to be able to give the market what it desires. And the market only desires from high capacity people something it can actually put money behind. It doesn't want to put money behind the fact that you do great t-shirts and your friends like them. Because if your friends like them, you might need to find enough friends to be able to allow you to walk away from your day job, walk away from your other thing. You know, I mean, I have a career in life insurance and I'm getting my PNC license because that's a vertical that actually will monetize into more money. But I'm not, but am I super duper passionate about it? Only yes, because now I know a way to actually attract the clientele that I want for it. But it took me time, it took me sitting down, it took me really putting the time in to get it.
I'm going to catch this right where you left it because you just named something rare. You said verticals aren't wrong, they're just out of season. That's maturity. That's discernment. That's closing doors without burning the building down. And here's the cost you were circling earlier, the long term cost when high capacity people don't close doors. They fragment their identity. They become available instead of anchored. They start chasing resonance instead of resonance chasing them. When everything is open, nothing gets sacred. When everything is possible, nothing becomes inevitable. So let me ask you this. This might be the anchor question for the episode. How does a high capacity person know which door to close now without killing the future version of themselves? Because a lot of people listening are scared they'll close the wrong door. Take us there.
It's basically it can be brought out to this. Whatever you're willing to go shout off a mountaintop and see if you actually get a echo from the world that they heard you, that is that is a vertical and a door that should be open. Because if you can speak this one to many and you start getting trickles of people saying, hey, raising their hand, like, hey, I felt where you were coming from. That is the biggest clarifier that you are on the right path because our circles they're built to nester us, nurture us, their family, their friends, their everything. But what they are not built for is, you know, the comfort where the comfort zone ends, and that's outside your comfort zone. Go outside, be willing to be irritated, be willing to be uncomfortable, but be willing to be you in a bigger sea. That's where your blue ocean exists. And that's where this season of locking in and learning and honing your skills and trying to take you to the next level will be able to allow you to feast when you get to that place because that's what it's all about. It's all about that one thing that many people will gravitate to that will have you eating for the rest of your life and providing for you and your family, building a legacy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's the compass. That's the test. Not who claps first, but what echoes when you speak it into the open world. Because family will always protect you, friends will always encourage you. But the market, the many, the outside sea, that's where truth shows up without obligation. And I love how you framed it: irritation, discomfort, exposure. That's not punishment, that's proof you've left the nest. So let me land us here because this ties the whole episode together. High capacity people don't need more ideas. They need one message they're willing to repeat even when nobody's clapping yet. So I'll ask you this as we start to close. If someone listening tonight only closed one door after this episode, what door would you tell them to shut first? And why? I'm with you.
Shut the door that doesn't give them the proof, the positioning, and the receipts. Those are three things that you need to advance in life. Those are the three things that's going to get you out of that job you hate. Those are the three things that's going to get you with that client that you've always dreamed of working with. Those are the three things that is going to allow you to elevate to a higher standard of life. Shut that door and don't even shut it for good. Just shut it for the season that you not in yet. Just shut it and then watch what happens. Shut it for 30 days at least. Just shut it for 30 days. That's all you gotta do.
That's it. That's the charge. Proof, positioning, receipts. If a door doesn't lead you closer to those three, it's not a priority, it's a distraction. And I love that you didn't say kill it forever. You said close it for the season. Because maturity isn't about destruction, it's about timing. 30 days of silence on the wrong door can create 30 years of momentum on the right one. So let me seal this for the listener. High capacity people don't win by doing more. They win by protecting what compounds. If this episode hit you, don't go announce it. Don't go explain it. Just go close one door and let the results speak. This has been The Art of Desiring More. I'm Juniper, and I'll see you on the other side of the door.
See you guys on the other side of the door. Make sure you send this to somebody who you know needs to close that door to get them to where they need to be in life. If that's you, close that door.